a young person moving in that direction, and you as a father and mother cannot get your son or daughter to return to the right path. No, mommy, I'm going to shack up with him. We don't need marriage anymore. Then, although you are father and mother, the time will come when you'll have to cut off your ties from those who are blood relations. Because if you do not cut off your ties, they will drag you into the pit of fire. That is the message from the killing of the boy. And then comes the wall. And if you have wealth in Akhirul Zaman, who can you trust? Who can you trust? Today there might be one or two. Tomorrow there'll be nobody. You can't trust anybody. That's the rule. That's why we want to build a Muslim village in the remote countryside. And we have with us here tonight the man who's the head of my group of students here in Malaysia. They've already bought land already, mashallah. And soon they're clearing the land now, so they're going to start planting food crops and put animals on the land. And then some kampung houses are going to go up. But ultimately we want a Muslim village in a place where you cannot use a cell phone. Traveling. When you cannot use a cell phone, now we know we're out of range. So what do you do with your wealth? How do you protect it when there's no one you can trust? So what he did was to dig a hole and bury his wealth. If you bury ringgits, 20 years later, when you go to look for it, it'll all be gone into the mud. I suggest you might eat out of dirham and bury that instead of paper. And because this wall was crumbling, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked him to repair the wall, sending a message to us about protecting our wealth in Akhirul Zaman. I want to turn now to the last stage of my analysis of these three events, and these are only my opinion. And when I give my opinion, I'll be disappointed in you if you accept it. I've said it time and again. Please do not accept my opinion when I offer an opinion. Out of respect for your own intellect, do not accept my opinions unless and until you are convinced that it is correct. Can I do more than that? So if they accept my opinions after that, are you going to blame me? And you can put on YouTube, don't listen to Imran Husein. Shame on you, shame on you, shame on you. That's not part of our intellectual culture. Don't listen to Imran Husein. It's never been a part of our intellectual culture. No. The scuttling of the boat can be a message. This is the boat of Islam. And the bid'ah is Akhirul Zaman. The boat of Islam will be scuttled. And as a consequence, Islam will not be on center stage of the affairs of the world. But that scuttled boat will be repaired when Imam al-Mahdi comes. And then it will sail again. It will sail again. The hadith is that Sahih Bukhari, that the Umran, my name is Imran, this is Umran, of Bayt al-Maqdis of Jerusalem. would be, at that time when Medina would be kharab, desolate. That's where we are today. Medina is a state of desolation. Medina playing absolutely no role whatsoever on the stage of politics and economics. The whole affair, none whatsoever. But Jerusalem is now center stage in the world. That's what he said. That the flourishing state of Jerusalem would be at that time when Medina would be desolate. And then he said at that time when Medina would be desolate, that would be the time when the great wars would start. I expect it to start sometime in the next few months. And then he said, when the great wars take place, that is the time that Constantinople will be conquered. Have you not read the hadith? How could it be 600 years ago? And when Constantinople is conquered, that is the time the khuruj of Dajjal will take place. Meaning Dajjal will appear now in human form. And so the boat is going to resurface. At the moment it is still scuppered, but it's going to resurface. That is one possible analysis, but you don't have to accept it. The boy's head is taken off. And if we are talking about the boat of the Ummah, then the boy also represents the Ummah. And the head is taken off, we're going to lose the Khilafah. But Allah knows best. These are only an opinion of mine. And then comes the treasure, which is Islam, which is buried. Allah has it buried. It's being protected. No one can steal it. And above the treasure there is a wall. And when you see that wall crumbling, as it is crumbling now, then you must do what Hidra alayhi salam did. Do what you can to try to restore it. In other words, do what you can to restore Islam. Since it cannot be restored at the macro level, why can't you restore it at the micro level? And that is what we're trying to do. Repairing the wall is the Muslim village in the remote countryside with an Amir and with a Jama'ah. And here the Sufi and the Salafi will live together as brothers. Oh yeah. Because in our masjid you have only the Quran and Sunnah. Nothing else. Anything which is not based on the Quran and the universally accepted Sunnah, we will not allow it in the masjid. No. You want to celebrate the birth anniversary of the Prophet ﷺ, you've been doing it for 1,000 years. We say, this is not in the Quran. This is not in the Sunnah. But we are not going to take up boxing gloves to give you a knockout. Not this people. We're not fighting over this. If you want to do that, go ahead. We say, brother, in order to keep the unity of the Jama'ah, whatever you have which is not based on the Quran and Sunnah, could you kindly keep it in the private and don't bring it in the public? That's all. And we'll be able to live together as a united community. And when he comes, because you are doing something in private, and he starts shouting bid'ah and haram, you throw him out of that village faster than Federal Express. Because you are an agent of fitna. And we are people who try to repair the wall. The treasure is under the wall. And tomorrow when Nabi Isa alayhi salam returns, tomorrow when Imam al-Mahdi emerges, that treasure is going to come out. Brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, students, this has been a limited analysis of Hidra alayhi salam in Akhir al-Zaman and his link with the Dajjal. I want to end by asking those of you who feel sufficiently interested in this topic to read this book, Surah Al-Kahf in the Modern Age, and then pursue your study of the subject. And may Allah bless you that you may be able to extend the frontiers of knowledge even more than Allah has blessed me to do in this limited time and in this limited way. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين آمين.